Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the NECC Rocket League Championships. My name is Bass from the Past, and joined alongside me is the one, the only Gigabyte. Welcome to the stream, my friend. How are you doing on this fine evening?
Well, I'm doing all right on this fine evening. It's going to be a heck of a show here as we roll in to the West Champions League final. And this is, I believe, hold on a second. I have this up here somewhere. There we go. It's between UAH and Lincoln Land. These two teams have absolutely been popping off throughout the entire season and the playoffs to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Two incredibly strong teams which have been battling it out here. And I say battling not that lightly. They have both had to go through a rigorous test to try and make it all the way up here. Meanwhile, UAH, a University of Alabama, Huntsville, were able to take a win against Northern Kentucky, the number 4 seed, at 3-0. Meanwhile, Lincoln Land, a little bit more difficult for them, going 3-2 against Minnesota, going 3-2 against Boise State. They have battled every single team, including that Boise team, as we mentioned, that were the number 2 seed. And this has been a battle and a half, to put it simply, to get here. And now it is the biggest test of them all. University of Alabama, Huntsville were the number 1 seed going into playoffs, and they have proven that, as we said, that 3-0 has been looming over every other team's head, knowing they're coming into this one with a lot of heat. But I really do think Lincoln Land might be one of the teams to be able to do it. They played incredibly well. They were a team we saw in the preseason do incredibly well. And really, we've just been waiting for this moment, Gigabyte. I could not be more excited for our final game of the night.
Lincoln Land definitely proved their mettle in their last matchup as they took down Boise State Blue 3-2. That was a very tense set to 5 there. And you know what? If there's any team who can go up against this University of Alabama Huntsville team, I believe it is this Lincoln Land team. They are definitely solid. They've been looking very good. They don't necessarily have the power to just go for a clean sweep, but they get the job done when they need to. They have that clutch ability. So that is going to be one of those things that is going to be the key to the game for them, is retain that clutch ability that we've seen them pull off all season and through the playoffs to this point.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things is you mentioned here that, you're not expecting a sweep, but Keeg, I'm not sure if you've been able to see some of the other results we've had here today. We've had multiple sweeps already in the playoffs in best of 7 series. So there's a chance here. I'm not going to say that I'm banking on it, because I will say this, as an audience member and also as a caster, we love a game 7. We love to see it go the distance. But there's a chance there's something in the air right now where it feels like when teams start to ride that wave, they surf it all the way to victory.
And, Bass, you talked about we've had a ton of sweeps today. It's you and I casting. We're going to get a sweep here. That's just, it has to be that way. Every series I cast anywhere, it seems like it's always like a 50% or greater chance of being a sweep. So I'm sorry if we end up cursing either one of the teams to end up having a sweep here. Might as well just play a best of one and get it over with, right? No, I'm just joshing with you. But that doesn't change the fact, though, that LLCC and UAH are going to be able to take it to each other. These two teams have been battling it out all season long, and they are on the pitch and ready to get started. We are underway with the Western Conference Champion League final.
Oh my word, and if that ain't a mouthful to try and say it 5 times fast, can't really blame you there. We have got the players on the pitch, LLCC in the orange, Alabama Huntsville in the blue. This is going to be a battle and a half, and already the shots are a-flying. University of Alabama Huntsville on the line, trying to get something through, and they will. Josh starts us off only 20 seconds in with a goal.
Well, this is just a high-flying pass by X. He's looking for the the flip reset there. But Josh recognizes that he's going to lose it, comes up, really quick reaction time, and he puts it into the back of the net. So great communication there by the team. I'm assuming X was calling that he was losing that one and sent it over to Josh, but hey, way to be in position no matter what.
100% making sure you're in the right place at the right time, and that's exactly what Aurora is doing here. Josh gets a little bit of a light touch out to the center, but when you can slam it home like that, it does not matter. 2-0 already. Alabama Huntsville way out in top.
Yeah, this is a very, very fast-paced offense. They like to gain control quickly and then push it through quickly, too. Although it might get pushed back quickly by LLCC, and it will. They come up with a return. Very quick kickoff goal. What is defense, Bass?
This seems to be the trend for me with game number 1s. Another league you and I cast for in the MLE. The first game I got to cast, I think, I want to say 2 days ago or so, they had 13 goals in the first game. Pretty much no defense was being played. So let's see whether or not we get to see that again here. It seems to be the trend, sweeps and aggressive offenses. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not really complaining about that. That just means more action for us, more spectacular goals. And about a minute into this one, we have already seen 3. Finally, a little bit of a breakdown on the pace of play here, though, as all of a sudden, LLCC are locked into their own half. X can't quite catch this one and dribble it with it cleanly enough, so they'll have to recover in the air. And they don't really exactly do that. 2 players commit. Aurora, the last one back, has to rush, gets a little bit of a touch, and will survive for now. University of Alabama Huntsville having a little bit of difficulty on the back half there, but are able to recover in time. You've got to be careful. This is only game number 1, but as the series progresses, you're not going to get away with the mistakes that easily, and indeed, they will not.
Well, this was just a poorly played ball by X here. He probably should have just dumped that one out to the side at that time, but he just wasn't able to keep control of it, and X will end up forfeiting a goal there. And once again, we are tied up at 3:37 as we see a slugfest back and forth. Each of these two teams trying to get a leg up over the other, but so far it has been mostly unsuccessful. And, we talked about it, that we haven't seen much in the way of defense here either. And, we have seen 2 saves already from Alabama Huntsville, but the problem is LLCC, shot for shot, they just have more, as now getting 5 shots on the game. And, you know, as great as Alabama Huntsville was very early on, we're seeing LLCC start to come into their own here. This might be a back half team, and they've shown it so far in the playoffs up to this point, and they're showing it now.
Unless they get pinched upon. Oh my, that had some mustard to that one, but it's not going to really matter because I 100% agree with you. LLCC have definitely had the more impressive recovery here after going down by 2 goals to immediately then have a response and tie this one up. And now really they're getting so much space and time to control the ball and set up some greater plays. That one does not work out for Get Over, but it really is starting to show. Look at how much more panicked Alabama Huntsville are right now. They are desperate for touches. They want to try and get some possessions in their favor, and in doing so, they're starting to be a bit too impatient, and they're starting to make touches they probably shouldn't. Josh with a little too heavy of a touch there, and Slothish can now get in the way. Similarly, X wanted to carry that one, but more instead just lays it down to Get Over. And they've got to be careful. University of Alabama Huntsville right now, they're playing extremely sloppily, and I think LLCC might just be able to take advantage. Oh, wait a minute, a shot for Aurora. A little bit of hesitation there, and LLCC almost get caught lacking, but somehow they will not. 2 minutes remain here, either side really looking like they could score at any minute. LLCC probably playing a little bit more methodical, but the power behind the touches for Alabama are something else.
LLCC, you can tell that they've kind of sniffed out that Alabama is a little bit eager here to go for a couple of these challenges. As we see LLCC, they are playing 2 men back pretty much all the time. They are not challenging any of these too difficult at midfield. And there it is, a triple commit up by UAH. That might come back to bite them, but Aurora is able to get that one back upfield, barely. But LLCC needs to jump on top of these at midfield a little bit sooner. I understand the desire to play a 2 people back strategy, but you need to have that second man up to go for these types of shots that you need to be putting through. Because all you need is one more, and then you can defend it for the rest of the game. But you got to get that one.
100%. I think the teams at this level are by far capable enough to run the one-man back defense. It is something that we talk about all the time, that deep third that is just always in the right place at the right time. If you have a reliable defender like that, you can absolutely control the pace of the pitch. And right now, it's definitely LLCC trying to do that a lot more than Huntsville, but I don't think that Huntsville are quite out of this yet. It's really just 2 conflicting play styles, one with a little bit more go, and another one with a little bit more methodical strategy to it. So 30 seconds left. Let's figure out which one of these 2 Titans is going to win this one out. This is only game number 1, Keeg. If this is how game number 1 is going to go, we might have a series and a half on our hands.
Well, I certainly hope we have an entertaining one. Aurora, though, he's going to try and finish this one in regulation. Alabama takes the lead 3-2 with 21 seconds remaining. And now that defensive playstyle for LLCC comes back to bite them a little bit, as now they're going to have to shift focus and put all hands on deck up in front of that midfield line to try and get one more in the 21 seconds they have. The kickoff is not going to go in their favor, but a demo will make it so. Get Over is going to have a good touch here. Sending it over to center, over X. Gonna try and hand it off to Becky, but Becky just gets a little bit of a 50. Oh, good opportunity for LLCC here. They have to turn really quick, but they're not gonna be able to get there. Now, one more chance. Get Over, up high to Becky. Becky, it's off target. They're not gonna put it through. UAH comes out with the game 1 win. And so unfortunate, the net was not defended. Becky tried to put that one on target, but it was just a little bit wide. Oh, what a heartbreaker for LLCC.
I am sitting here speechless. I've got nothing to say, but that is so unfortunate for LLCC. They got incredibly close. Lincoln Land was about inches away from tying this one. It feels like we should be in overtime right now, and you guys couldn't hear our producer behind the scenes, but he had about the same reaction as I did here. Freaking out. This is it's unfortunate, to put it simply. LLCC, in my opinion, did look like the stronger team on the back half there, but all it takes is one error on defense, and all of a sudden it's going to break down. That is the concern with the 3-man defense that you and I were talking about, where you don't pull 2 players all the way into the back half and rather just have the one who is there at the right time. There were multiple players there, but in truth be told, the 3rd man that needed to make the save there was Get Over, and when they do not, everything breaks apart when you just have that one error. At this level, you can't afford major errors like that. Teams will punish without a second thought. It's exactly what Huntsville did here, and it might just be able to carry their momentum. Although it is game number 1, Keek, we're starting to see the trends of these 2 teams. LLCC cannot try to play too defensively here. I feel like they might start giving up a bit too much pressure if they stay this strategy.
Well, they've been giving up pressure pretty much the entire time to Alabama Huntsville during that game. They really cannot afford that. They have to meet them equally at midfield, because if you let them go too far back into your own zone and only leave one person to get the clear, then you might not be in a great position. In fact, we already saw LLCC. All it took was one mistake from them by one of those two defenders, and UAH was able to take the lead and the win off of that. So UAH, they are already on the pressure, and LLCC, they look to be shifting focus a little bit here, but there we go. Becky was upfield as Slothish was looking to get it to mid. Now we start to see LLCC kind of jumping on these challenges a little bit quicker. Two people upfield, Slothish is back in the midfield, a much more standard rotation.
It's a standard rotation, but yep, there was what I was just about to mention. Becky is the player you want to watch on this one. Becky not rotating back, instead cherry picking a little bit too aggressively. Eventually does rotate back, but it is just not in time. I'm understanding the adjustment to try and play aggressive, but the rotations need to be a little bit more traditional. Leaving yourself that vulnerable because of too long of a rotation is absolutely something you cannot afford at this level. And Huntsville already showing that they will punish with even the littlest gap, and they have done so within the first minute now. Here comes the response, though. All of a sudden, Huntsville are going to get another chance in LLCC. They're just going to pop it out of their half. All three players pushed up, though. They need to be careful here. Too quick of a counterattack. It'll leave them vulnerable. Slothish has rotated back, and so has Get Over, but one of them needs to challenge early. Slothish will be the one, and will give another chance back to LLCC. Out of the corner, is someone there? No, X will pop it over Get Over, who was the last player there, and Lincoln Land will have to restart their offense once again. I'm liking the aggression, but you've got to watch out for this, as well as the audience should be paying attention to this. We're seeing a lot of LLC players take that second man, and rather than having them play with a little bit of backup, they're throwing them all the way deep into offense to try and get some passes. And while it's a strategy that could work out if you have an efficient enough offense, it is really leaving them vulnerable. As you can see, Becky is nowhere to be found on the back half, and now is a chance. Slothish will clear that one out. Really, this is not a winning strategy right now for LLCC. They need to be careful. The cherry pick is cool, but I don't think it's really going to benefit them in the long run.
You never know. I mean, so getting a pass to clear would be a fantastic boon for LLCC here, as we do see that UAH is playing their pretty standard, 3 men up, all in the offensive third. So if LLCC gets a good pass to clear, not necessarily a cherry pick, but a good pass to clear, like this one potentially. Oh, not a great touch from Josh. That's going to leave it for Becky, but no touch, and Aurora and X combined for the clear. You got to capitalize on those. But as I was saying, a good pass to clear would really get them past nearly every single player on the UAH squad and leave them in a good spot. But they can't seem to really figure out a good middle ground as to where a good pass to clear is and where they're just cherry picking.
Oh, this could be a huge opportunity, though. No one is home, and Becky will score it. Not exactly sure what happened to the defense here. X is in the corner, bumps into Aurora, and Josh is the only one back. Oh, no. Unfortunate circumstance there, as the last man back did whatever they could, but it was not enough. 1-1 it becomes here, and honestly, that's probably the best we've seen LLCC on offense all day so far. They've had some good chances, but being able to capitalize off a major mistake like that really does bode well.
Starting to find a comfy little middle ground here. Game one, they were significantly too defensive, holding 2 men back, and the early part of this game, they were really struggling to kind of rein in their offensive pushes, getting punished for it quite a few times. And now we're starting to see a bit more of a measured response to what UAH is throwing at them. Because we're seeing a much more happy middle ground, Goldilocks zone, whatever you want to call it, of a passing game upfield. But they're still getting punished super hard as they can't get it past the midfield. X puts a shot on target. Becky almost own goals it. But we'll call that calculated, as they are able to get it away from the net, at least for now.
Oh my word, they're getting me nervous though. As much as we are saying, game number 1 they were too defensive, game number 2 they're playing a bit too aggressively. Part of the reason I feel like they're playing too aggressively, they look allergic to going into the net. So many of these saves have been just outside of the net to where they're playing on the line. They don't want to actually have that third man all the way back and inside of their own goal. and it's not something that I think is benefiting. They need to be able to break down that pace of play and make sure that if they need to, they have someone there who can make the save at the last moment. Pulling a player just a little bit out of net, it may not seem like the largest difference, but every once in a while you will get a ripper on target that you'd be able to save if you were in the net, but not if you were on the line. 55 seconds left, and we have not seen that yet, but LLCC need to be careful if a quick counterattack launches. We've seen Huntsville do that before, and when they do get those chances on the counterattack, they are deadly.
You know, Alabama Huntsville, very reminiscent of a standard North American RLCS offense. They like to commit that third man up and then rush that third man back if they have to get back and make a save and try and make a backwards touch on it. So very awkward, and if they might get punished on it here, no, Becky is not able to get it past Josh. Although a good boomer upfield, X is able to get that one away. It wasn't on target in the first place, but it would have been dangerous still, just like that one is. Shot on target by Get Over, and now we see a little bit of offense coming up from LLCC.
Becky though.
Oh, yeah. Kills it in midfield, and oh, wait, we might have one more, Bass.
Oh, I thought the same thing as you. We saw that mistouch from Becky at a midfield, and I thought Alabama might get a chance, but instead it's Lincoln Land playing this one extremely carefully. Get Over can't quite make the touch, though, and overtime game number 2 we go. This is a very important one for Lincoln Land here. They want to try and prove that they can do everything with the comebacks that they get. They don't always play to the best of their ability during the first half, but you called it early. Second half team is where they do the best, and they have thrived so far here, finally finding that middle ground necessary, but Becky contested on the shot and cannot find the winning goal for Lincoln Land, and a double commitment here at midfield might leave them vulnerable. Aurora with a good 52, in a matter of fact, in a row, and now LLCC are scrambling to try to get into position for defense. Still no player in net, and Josh almost slides one in. Becky with a last-second save, and now you're starting to see the weakness of not pulling a player into that net. They are making the saves, but imagine if Becky was even a quarter of a second later, we would already be done with overtime.
Yeah, and we'd see UAH go out to a 2-0 lead. Both these teams, though, very evenly matched. I'm not going to lie. The execution from both sides of the pitch, though, not exactly stellar. As we've seen a lot of wasted opportunities from both, more from Lincoln Land, but UAH continuing on their hyper-aggressive style. All 3 players committed up past midfield at this point. If they can get a good clear on the side of Lincoln Land, they'll be able to get some footing going. But they are just not able to get these clears solid enough. Becky's up. Oh, Becky was up cherry-picking. That could have been very dangerous, but Aurora got a fortunate bump. And back and forth we go here as Lincoln Land continues to try and get pressure. Bass, at what point do you think Lincoln Land has put on enough pressure, but they just need to kind of start removing defenders?
I think at a certain point, it's not necessarily about removing defenders, but, you know, using that pressure advantageously. They're not really doing much with the overwhelming amount of pressure they have here. They're keeping Alabama Huntsville on their back heel, keeping them uncomfortable on repeat when it comes time for that risky challenge to fully, you know, send it into the offense or send it into defense where they have to restart. They're just not doing it. They do not want to try and pull that second man so aggressively that they leave themselves vulnerable. Maybe it's because they don't trust the third man well enough that they're going to be able to make that clear and again. Maybe it's because they just don't even want the risk of it going horribly wrong. But whatever it is, you need to start taking risks. You're not going to be able to play entirely safe against a team like Alabama Huntsville. You play a safe game, this overtime could probably go on forever. And while that might be a great thing to see as the audience, it's not going to be great for the confidence in the team. If you can't get it done in an effective amount of time, you're going to start wondering, what on earth can we do to actually get this done? How about try and take out the defenders in front of the net? But no, it's not going to matter. You mentioned removing the defenders, and they did exactly that. But when push came to shove, the open net was there, and it could not be shot upon. Lincoln Land get another look at the net, but Josh will save it. 2 gigantic chances in a row, but LLCC cannot capitalize.
Almost, though, and that is all UAH needs to need. They've been shocked a little bit at this point. They recognize that they're not quite as invulnerable as they thought they were on defense as a couple misses come out, and Slothish is going to take advantage of the miss here. Aurora not able to get the touch. X not able to get the touch as Sloshes. You know what? Take it, Bass.
LLCC, the champions, in game number 2, doing a great job here, and Slothish slams that one home. And I hate to be a broken record here, but it's something we had mentioned before. If you notice where X was on that play, they weren't in the goal. They were on the line. They had pushed out just a little bit past the goal, was not able to get the correct angle, and could not make the save. And this is why we mentioned the rotation so thoroughly. Back post rotation is incredibly important. You need to have a player who is in the net ready for the saves. If you go and look at most of the RLCS players who are playing right now, a lot of them, when they actually give up goals, it is because of this exact mistake. When they have players in net, they are able to save it. They are at least able to get in the way. X was just not in the right position at the right time, and it costed UAH the game. LLCC take game number 2, tie up the series, and Gigabyte, this one really could go the distance.
Yeah, we could see a game 7 here. I will say, though, that on the side of UAH, it's more than just that back post rotation that's really causing them problems. We're seeing a lot of just misses on defense, literally just straight misses. We saw Josh miss one at the very beginning of that game that led to LLCC getting 1 goal. X missed that one there. Aurora missed another one on that play to let the ball go through. So it seems like, I don't know if they're kind of cracking under pressure or if they're just not quite keeping it focused on defense. Maybe some miscommunication, maybe a little bit of panic. I don't know. But it seems like the defensive woes for UAH are going to be their biggest weakness in this series. And if they don't shape it up, LLCC will start to capitalize on their mistakes more often.
100%, and that's one of the biggest things. Sometimes that is what separates team, the ability to take advantage when your opponents make a mistake. And, oh, speaking of which, no 50 in front of the net, and it's a chance for UAH to start out in this game a little bit more aggressive, but they are not quite going to be able to capitalize. Instead, they have got to restart out at midfield here. Aurora with a slow play and a lot of boost because of it. Now has a chance to center this one. Goes off the ceiling. Wants the shot for themselves, but get over is in the way. And I'm liking what we're seeing out of LLCC on the defense right now. Lincoln Land are not only getting in the way of these touches, but their pace is definitely picked up as well. They're playing very aggressive, even in defense. And I'm liking the way that it's working out for them. Oh, my word. Robbie shouldn't have said that right then and there, though, because a double commit in front of the net is going to cost LLCC their first goal.
Well, dropped down by Becky. Why Aurora just could not, well, he does get it at center, sorry. Slothish could not get it back out, and X is able to capitalize. And once again, a little bit of panic causing some goals on this time on the side of Lincoln Land, as they are not able to get a touch. X and Slothish both missed that one. And Aurora, no touch, get over to Becky. Becky, oh my God, Becky, you didn't put that in.
I cannot believe that we are still going here at this point. We've got 4 minutes, and I believe this should be a 1-to-1 ball game, but unfortunately, LLCC have no goal to show for it. They're going to try and run this one back, see if they can maybe restart an offense from a touch here from Slothish. As Aurora is there and ready, the clear will go right back into the LLCC half. Lincoln Lane are getting pressed into their own half again. This is something we hadn't seen in quite some time, but to see them start struggling to really figure out how to break out and do so effectively, it's really going to put them on their back heel, and they might start breaking down in more ways than just one. The defense, as we said, has made a couple mistakes before, and they're susceptible to a couple more, but not if they can get the counterattack quick enough. A player was in net, but there is no way they can stop a shot like this from Slothish.
Is it just me, or did this game just randomly shift from first gear into like 5th gear? This went very good. This turned very quickly from a calculated game into a very fast, very calculated game, as now we have both teams just scrambling to get any sort of pressure, as X is gonna get a demo, X gonna get a shot, X gonna give it to you, not gonna get it back though. Slothish and get over both combined for the clear, although Aurora does keep it dangerous, dropping it down, looking for X and or Josh. Both of them miss an opportunity here for Lincoln Land. That's a breakaway. X is back in time, though, and no result is going to come from that counterattack, although they are going to have the offensive pressure.
Absolutely. It's not really going to mean that much, though, if you can't find the goal. At this point, we've seen a lot of good offensive pressure out of both teams. The question is whether or not they can finish it off. This is something we were specifically critical of in LLCC. They had so many good opportunities on offense, so much offensive pressure, and they're doing it again here as they've been on their opponent's half for so long. When it comes time for that banger of a shot, Slothish either puts it off target or so does Becky. 2 off-target shots in a row. We need to see something a little bit more standard at LLCC. They're trying to paint the corners a bit too aggressive. aggressively take those awkward positions and just slam one on net. Your rotations are getting quick enough that if you have that first shot, at least throw off the initial defender, you can have a second person dive on it and slam that goal home. They're just not quite getting that right now. They're still trying for a little bit too intricate of shots, which are making them either miss it because they're off target or they're just not rotating correctly. And it's really something that I think LLCC need to be aware of. With 2 minutes left, Huntsville, as we said, are a counterattacking team. All they need is a couple of seconds and they can get one in. LLCC look like they need to develop the play a whole lot more, and it is costing them dearly.
UAH is sending the house on so many of these challenges, especially around the midfield area. That could really cost them, though. As we've seen LLCC, we were just critical about them not taking advantage, although they're going to own goal it. Oh, no. What happened here? Why, Aurora, good touch. But Becky... Wait, what?
I hate to say it. I really don't want to say it because we're going to keep harping upon it. Becky with ample time and space to get into the goal, to get ready for that, and was not quite able to do so. Own goals it because they are on the line and just does not have the correct angle. Keeg, this is unfortunately the same sort of things we've been harping upon. LLCC still haven't necessarily fixed the issues they've had in games 1 and 2. The fact of the matter is they have doubled down on the issues they had originally, and it might just cost them the game as Josh tries to dribble one in by themselves. Big change at LLCC right now. They're trying the same strategies without any different results, and it is costing them dearly. And I think Huntsville are really starting to figure out a winning strategy for the series.
Not sure about that last goal. I thought Becky might have actually had the angle to get that out of there, but it looked like kind of like a half ghost touch. If that's the case, I mean, that's just Rocket League. But at the same time, you know, Becky probably should have been in a better position no matter what. But Lincoln Land now trying to get this one back. It is chipped out by Josh, though. It prevents it from getting too dangerous. Lincoln Land sends the house. They finally have someone rotating back. And they're not committing on this. They had everybody from UAH drawn out. And they all commit at the same time. Oh, no. Look at this. This is what happens, unfortunately. You have no one commit, then you have everyone commit as you're panicking like someone needs to go, and then you end up missing it like that. So that's going to pretty much seal the game for UAH unless LLCC comes out with something insane here. But a two-goal deficit at this level, not usually thrown at the 30-second mark.
Yeah, not usually that easily, to put it simply. Like you said, it's got to be basically a miracle at this point. And in the time that we've been explaining that exact scenario, they have run out of time. 20 seconds gone by, and with the last 10 seconds clocking off now, it's really just about getting a goal in. And what? Oh my word! The cannot! University of Alabama, Huntsville. They not only take the game, they do so in style. Basically a guaranteed goal for LLCC, and it is not guaranteed whatsoever. Somehow they make an incredible defensive stand and keep this game with a 2-goal lead. I can't believe that, Gigabyte. There's no two ways about it. That should have been a 3-2 game for LLCC. The fact that Alabama can hold that tight even with that much pressure, it's not boding well for Lincoln Land whatsoever.
Just hit the scoreboard so I can watch the replay of this. My God, how does that not score? There were 3 perfect shots sent in there by LLCC, and somehow UAH just I don't know. I am at a loss of words. Not gonna lie, I'm at a complete loss of words as to how that one ended up not being a goal. You said it yourself. We should be 3-2 in favor of UAH right now, and seeing LLCC trying to score one more in the 2 seconds they had at the very end of that one, but instead it goes to UAH off of the miracle, I want to say, at the very end there. I don't know. No matter how you look at it, it was the most insane set of defensive saves that I've ever seen in my entire life. So we play on here. UAH is going to take the lead in the series 2-1. As we move into game 4, LLCC is going to want that back.
Yeah, they absolutely are going to try to, but again, LLCC have really struggled to keep that offensive pressure and turn it into something greater. An own goal out of Josh might be enough, but they are not going to get it, unfortunately. And Aurora, oh my word, the mind games are impeccable. Huntsville are starting to figure out the key to victory here. Not only is the door unlocked, but they have made copies. 16 seconds in, and 1-0 it becomes.
Becky gets balled on the back line again. And unfortunately, it does seem to be like Becky is the unfortunate short stick for a lot of these defensive miscues, but honestly, it can't just be blamed on Becky. The team needs to rotate better into that defense from offense. Their shifts, I want to call them, are not exactly up to snuff tonight.
No, unfortunately not, and as a result they are giving away a ton of pressure, but I thought that they'd be able to capitalize there. LLCC, again, a bit too hesitant, but similarly, so is Huntsville. 2 players on the line, and neither one of them even goes for the safe.
Josh and X both here. X doesn't know what to do as he sees his teammate get demoed and turns back to go for the save. Josh is just there, I guess. 1-1.
Sure. But yes, the answer we'll give you is yes. As everybody could see, Josh was there, but the unfortunate truth was maybe he wasn't quite there all mentally. This is something we see all the time. Teams get a little bit exhausted and they don't quite pay attention for just a half a second, and all of a sudden everything comes tumbling down. That might have just happened, falling asleep at the absolute worst time for Huntsville, as all of a sudden here comes the shots. Becky tries to ring one home, but instead it will be denied, and now X has a chance out at midfield here. Goes up into the air though from a good 50-50, and Becky will rip off a shot, but a double commitment out of Huntsville is going to leave them vulnerable. Slothish puts one back to the center. More offensive pressure here, though, but no capitalization yet. Lincoln Land are doing a good job of sending that 2-man up to keep that pressure. When it comes time for that clean shot on target, they are still not finding it. There's got to be changes right now for LLCC. With this much offensive pressure, they should be getting way more goals than just one within a minute 30.
They left it go again. They're letting these roll out, and again, no one was there for the shot even. Look, I understand the desire to not want to play too far up on some of these, but at the same time, come on, guys. You've had how many roll right in front of net that are completely uncovered by UAH and no shots on target? There needs to be better capitalization on the offensive opportunities by LLCC, because they are having issues on rotations, and when they get rotated on like this, Josh removes Becky, Aurora just gets the easy shot.
And here's the biggest difference between the two teams. We keep mentioning how LLCC have had chances on repeat. They have many opportunities. Matter of fact, they've got 5 shots on target technically at this point, and they still only have 1 goal to show for it. Meanwhile, University of Alabama Huntsville, they have 2 shots and 2 goals. They have a 100% shooting record right now. They're doing incredible that when they get these chances on offense, they do not miss. They always capitalize. They do not capitalize, and they're making saves like that as well. So LLCC right now needs to be a little bit more precise on their offense. They're getting so many good chances, but when it comes time for them to actually drill a shot into the back of the net, they just can't quite find it.
UAH has been letting this one roll out a little bit too far, but this time it is well covered by X. It's sent back to Aurora, but once again, back upfield. As cutting it off to the midfield now is the entire LLCC team, honestly. Becky goes in, gets one. This is an opportunity for LLCC, but it's missed by Get Over. Slothish has an opportunity, but it's saved by Aurora, and another one goes by the wayside.
Oh, that one just hurts. There's been a lot of opportunities this game that have absolutely hurt to see as LLCC can't get it in, but that one was wide open and just couldn't quite get the angle. The fact that this is a repeat issue right now for LLCC really has me worried. Another open net. Can they convert? No hits off the bar. I don't even know if I can count it at this point. I was going to say it's maybe 3 or 4 instances of open nets where LLCC cannot convert, but I feel like that's honestly an underestimation of what it really is. They've had so many chances. Please, no, Josh makes the save, but Becky will finally drill one home. This feels inevitable after, I believe it's 12 shots all game. To finally have a second go through just feels justified.
Yeah, you are correct on that number. 12 shots for LLCC. Finally getting a second one. That's what, 1 out of every 6. That's a okay, caster math incoming. That's a 6.7. No, never mind. That is a very low shooting percentage. That is a very low shooting percentage in terms of how they're actually. Okay, 16.67% shooting percentage. Our production guy just told me that one. Thank you very much, Caleb. But LLCC, they're looking to continue the pressure. Becky gets a good demo, and that's something I like to see, though. They are trying to remove the defenders here. They're taking that advice, at least, and I feel as though as we see the series continue to go on, we're going to see LLCC resorting to that a little bit more.
And I think that they really should. Resorting to that is probably going to be one of the keys to victory for this team. If they can't get past the defense, as we saw at the end of the game, no, not quite able to. He's going to try to. But I do appreciate that they are trying to take out defenders and they are trying to mix up their style. But I don't really know if that mix-up of style is really going to benefit them. They need to do something greater than that. They need to make sure that when they get these opportunities, they're capitalizing, and not just capitalizing when a defender is not there. As much as taking out a defender and having an open net is great, you're not always going to get those opportunities. You need to be able to capitalize even if the defense is ready.
Well, Josh, trying to claim the name and the game, almost puts that one on target. X is pushing this one still. Slothish up to get over. That one's going to be high. Can't get over to it. Josh comes it off the backboard again. Aurora is just going to send this one downfield. Follow it if they can, but they're plenty okay with letting that one drop, as LOCC was having a lot of pressure there that UAH didn't want to deal with. And this is where UAH has really succeeded during this series so far, is on these quick initial kickoffs. They get a lot of pressure.
Yeah, 100%. Those quick kickoffs have been such a huge factor in this game, and this could be huge. No one's home. Huntsville, can you get back? No, wait a minute. That shot isn't even on target. Becky with a huge opportunity on an open net, and they still can't convert. Oh, my word, Keeg. This feels like a broken record at this point. How many times are we going to see Lincoln land with a chance on offense that they do not convert on?
Well, I literally have not been counting because I lost count at, I don't even remember at this point. As they just continuously kind of let these opportunities go, and they can't allow themselves to do that. They've had so much offensive pressure, they just haven't done it. And another one, get over goes Bar. Aurora was there though, but that could have been a much better shot. Could have been on the back corner, just wherever they wanted to put that, as long as it wasn't there, right at that spot.
My word, on repeat, LLCC are having so much difficulty just finishing off these games, and I was gonna say as a result they lose the game, but oh my word, Huntsville with a wide open net miss of their own. I don't know what's going on right now. Maybe it's the nerves getting to these players, but this is insane.
It's up to Aurora over to Josh, sending it back to Becky. This is just a little bit of a ping pong here as both these teams try and get something moving. Josh down to X. X back upfield. Get over. Lets it go. That might be a bad decision as it goes on the backboard. Aurora's going to get the 50. Keeps it in the offensive zone for UAH. Becky's up. Over to mid. Looking for the teammate. On target. We're going to let the... Oh, that was almost dangerous. Now down to Josh. Waiting for it. Demoed up by Get Over. And still they can't turn that one back upfield.
Not quite able to. It's the same sort of repeat strategies here for LLCC that are making me worried for them. And to be fair, Huntsville are not playing a standard game whatsoever at all. They're starting to play with some really tight rotations that I think could leave them vulnerable, but so far neither team has really capitalized upon said vulnerability. They're not playing perfectly. There are gaps in the offense and defense everywhere, and that's fine because that's something you see even at an RLCS level, but something we see in a little bit of a difference at RLCS level is the capitalizations upon those mistakes. Right now, neither team is really capitalizing to the correct degree. They need to take one of these mistakes and punish severely, and they almost do exactly that. Aurora tries to dive in on a good opportunity, but cannot quite do so. And we approach the 3-minute mark now here in overtime, over a game and a half played now. This is kind of crazy how much time we've spent in overtime and still not a clean shot to show for it.
Now, I'm going to bet that this game is going to end 331 with an open goal shot. And you know what? Sure. If I do that, Bass, how much do you owe me?
No.
I
am too broke. No, too broke to take that bet.
Okay. So Josh goes out past. Get Over is going to remove Josh from the play. X, oh, well, we already passed that one. Once again, more opportunities for Lincoln. Not able to get that one on target by Get Over. Now Slothish comes in for it, but Josh is able to get that one back upfield and out of danger. We have almost played 4 full minutes of additional Rocket League, and still these two can't quite find the execution. They can't quite find the capitalization on the opportunities. To be fair, though, that one was really rough to get on target. I'll give Becky that one.
Yeah, that one was a little bit more acceptable. That was a very tough angle in a very weird position, but unfortunately, that's kind of the type of shots you need to be able to make if you want to capitalize at this level. They're not going to be easy. No team is ever going to give you an easy shot on target. The question is whether or not you can capitalize upon what is given to you. And as we approach the 5-minute mark, here's where another interesting thing about the game is going to set in. Mental fatigue is really something these players need to be aware of. They're not going to be necessarily as sharp as when they came into this game. 5 total minutes in overtime is really going to wear on them. And as a result, they're going to start making more and more silly mistakes that they need to be aware of. Speaking of which, Slothish was not the most opportune touch here. That could be that mental fatigue we were talking about. X tries to get a 50-50, but get over will get in the way. I definitely do like the defensive changes we have seen out of LLCC. They haven't necessarily been making that many saves, as their opponents have 13 versus their...
There we go!
Oh, no! Versus their 1, and, well... The minute I compliment their defense is the minute that it breaks down. LLCC, unfortunately, do not get a perfect 50 here, and Huntsville take the game.
Becky actually just went a little bit too early on that 50, tried to get the clear before the save was secure, and you always got to go for the save first. Although, to their credit, UAH had a brilliant play there as X just completely balled 2 members of LLCC to thread the needle and get it out onto the wall, which is the whole reason why they got that pass going. But I was about to say it because you talked about mental energy. You know, every overtime is like an investment, right? You invest mental energy into it, and then in the end, are you going to win or are you going to lose? If you win, you're going to get all that mental energy back and more, especially with a longer overtime, because you feel hyped. You feel, yeah, we just won like an insane overtime. Yeah, let's go do it. And if you lose that 5-minute overtime, man, do you feel bad about it. So that might have just secured UAH maybe the next game victory and maybe the series victory in that case. I'm not willing to call anything early, but it definitely gives them a huge advantage because they are going to be feeling really, really good about their chances.
100%. And really, this is a tale of 2 different stories. We were mentioning 13 saves to Huntsville, but that's not even the most shocking stat. Huntsville were 3 for 5 on shots. They only took 5 shots the whole game. Their opponents took 19. LLCC were 1 shot away from going at 20 shots, and the fact of the matter is, 2 for 20 or just about that, it's not acceptable. There's no 2 ways about it. We can dance around it all we want, but the truth is, it's not acceptable at this rank. You need to be hitting shots. If you are getting that many chances, something has to hit the back of the net at a more consistent rate. There's just no way to win with that much inaccuracy. So for LLCC in this game, I want them to pay attention to the shots they are taking. Yes, it's great to get shots, and yes, it is something where they need to make sure they are playing aggressively enough to keep those opportunities coming. When it comes down to it, rip it at the center of the net. Don't even go for the corner. The corners are great and all, but just ripping a shot on target is much more important than trying to play it too accurately.
I mean, we just saw that from UAH there. They tried to rip a shot on target. They had a lot of pressure. They went for it. Yeah, they didn't get it, but they were able to get a lot going as a result of a couple of shots on goal there. Actually, 1 overall. What a save by X! And no shot there from Slothish. Come on, man.
I don't really know what to say, Keeg. It's unfortunate because that's the exact scenario we're talking about. Force the original shot on target, get the defenders all jostled, and figure out how they're not really all that comfortable, and then make sure that second man is there to rip one home. Oh no, and now as a result, the defensive breakdown on the other end again. This is the biggest issue we're seeing so far for LLCC. When Huntsville get a chance, they do not miss.
I wish chat could see how hard I'm face-bombing right now. That was an absolute disaster scenario for Lincoln right there. They had the opportunity. Slothish had that just dead to rights. That was in the back of the net. But instead, they miss. They get it turned right back around on them, and a goal goes in favor of UAH. And that has been the script the entire match so far. As it's just been such a... It's so difficult for Lincoln Land to try and just capitalize on the mistakes that we see out of LLCC, out of UAH, and they have made plenty, but man, you've got to make those count.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, we talk about the mental fortitude, the mental fatigue that's going to be set in, the resiliency you need to keep yourself in a game like this, and you can hear it in the voice of Keeg and I, audience here, is that we're getting frustrated at what's happening for LLCC because they're so close to being able to get a goal, and we really believe that they deserve to get those goals because we want to see this series be an exciting one. So imagine how frustrated we are, and then now think about how frustrated the players must be. They need to keep themselves in this game. I know it's got to hurt to not be able to score, but finally they do find that momentum. Hopefully this can break them from their, I'd say, the little lockdown that they have in their heads. They haven't been able to score in quite some time. Finally in this game, shooting percentage a whole lot better. Matter of fact, they got a better shooting percentage than Huntsville. Run with this, LLCC. This is your game to win.
See, just as you say that, UAH is going to get good pressure off the kickoff like they always do. X to Josh. Josh gets it rolling by Becky. Becky's going to have to back off on that one. Josh is able to get the clear. Becky back up field. It's going to go off backboard. And X is able to send this one into the corner. Josh now trying to flick that one over Becky, but Becky holds firm. Oh, good pinch, though. That's going to make an opportunity for X, but get over is there and sends it back upfield. So LOCC getting some good pressure at the midfield, although they leave that one go. Still some more of those older in the series habits that we saw from them, as in the not willing to go up and get the 50s when they need to. We see some of that haunting them here.
Yeah, it's unfortunately the statement is a very well-known one for a reason. Old habits die hard, and that is something that we have seen so far out of LLCC, who have... Wait a minute!
No way!
I was gonna say, who finally have a chance, but honestly, Keith, we've been talking about the offensive pressure from LLCC all game. Can we just take a couple of seconds to appreciate the Huntsville defense? What on earth are the saves we've seen out of them? The amount of saves on the line that have come out of nowhere that have just been beyond stellar, I can't even count them. This is an incredible defense out of Huntsville in this series.
And once again, I just said it. You mean Josh? He's been like 60% of those clutch saves that we've seen on the goal line. Man, UAH has him to thank for basically just making sure these games stay close. Because I think if he weren't there, LLCC would have probably won at least 2 of these past 3 games. But Josh, on offense, he's not quite as good as we see X and Aurora being the ones to take control there. But Josh is in the backfield. No need to worry, UAH. He's there. Aurora back up to XX across. He was looking for Josh maybe to get a little bit of a touch. Josh is going to go up, but that's going to be back. It's going to be on target. Aurora with the save prevents the deficit for UAH.
I will say that... Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't finish my sentence there. I was about to say Aurora has definitely stepped up on defense as well, but the minute I called them out and they miss a touch off the backboard, and an unfortunate miss, and it really is at possibly the worst time possible. Geek, we've got to see a turnaround now out of Huntsville. This is an important game for them. They do not want to let LLC get too much momentum in this game.
Slothish is able to get that one back out to the side. A collision between the 2 teammates, though. And you know UAH does not want this. You said it yourself. They don't want to go down here. They want to finish this one out here and walk away with the championship. X is going to send that one up. Josh can't put it on target. That was a really hard one to bring back around, though. I will admit that. X on target! Whoa. Barely able to make the save, and they had to send 2 to do it. X on target again, but another save by LLCC. UAH is putting down some serious pressure at the very end. Less than 10. X is putting it in. 8 seconds remaining, and we have a tie game.
Oh my word, Huntsville is a terrifying team. They had not shown this type of offensive pressure, I would say, the entire series. Most of the time we were seeing, these quick off goals where they'd counterattack or they'd get a couple of good touches. They get a chance to just put pressure on their opponents, and oh my word, do they suffocate. 6 seconds left here, and all of a sudden LLCC, after having a pretty solid game, have got to rethink their game plan. If that's the type of goals and the type of saves that Huntsville can pull off, they might just finish it now. Off the backboard, is anyone there? Josh comes in, but the shot is not on target. Huntsville tried to finish in regulation, but instead they will have to do it in overtime. Game point for Alabama Huntsville, and for LLCC, it is win or go home. They lose this one, that's the end of the series, and oh my word, they just might. Multiple shots going off target, and LLCC cannot close it out here.
Oh, that was a beautiful flick from Josh up to X, who was ready for that one all day long. Shot on target by Get Over. Becky tries to read the 50, but not able to get it out. A removal from Aurora. Slothish is out of the play. They might put it in. They will. Your Western Champion League champions are UAH, everybody. Alabama Huntsville,
Congratulations.
congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to University of Alabama Huntsville. They are your champions, as Gigabyte said, and they do so in a 4-1 fashion, absolutely crushing the competition and pulling it out when it counted most. They were within seconds of going to game number 5 here, or excuse me, game number 6 here, and instead we do not go there. Alabama Huntsville finish it off in style, finish it in overtime, and very deservedly take the championships. Congratulations to them. They are your champions, as we said. And LLCC, I will give them as much credit as I can. They played a phenomenal game and made many adjustments throughout the series, really doing what was necessary. But at the end of the day, there is only one winner, and that is Alabama Huntsville.
Yeah, and they really deserved it too. But I think it comes down a lot to what we talked about from LLCC. So many missed opportunities. And even still, you can be more deserving just by playing an overall cleaner game. That's what we saw from UAH. They were just significantly cleaner. Oh, don't get me wrong. UAH was not mistake free. It's just that those mistakes weren't capitalized on, and they really needed to be. LLCC could have very easily taken this series just completely on the back of the mistakes by UAH alone, but they just didn't. They couldn't find the back of the net when they made them. And we have been harping on that all series. And even towards the end there, that was exactly what made it go south for them. So UAH playing the cleaner game, they play the better Rocket League, and they do end up coming out on top for the NECC West Champions League final. So Bass, it has been one heck of a season here, but I believe that entirely wraps up the season for NECC Rocket League.
Well, hold up. We are not quite done yet. We have still got to celebrate with these boys. So, Gigabyte, we are almost there. We've got one little break. We're going to give you guys a couple more words from the guys who make all of this possible one last time. And when we return, we will have the final presentation of the day. Congratulations to Huntsville on their championships. Keeg, like you said, though, this was an incredible day of really good Rocket League. And while we are not quite done yet, that is the final match. And it's a little bit of a heartbreaker, to put it simply. You know, the NECC was such a fun season, such a great time, but I am getting a little bit ahead of myself. We do need to get back, and then we can reminisce one more time. So we're going to go to that little bit of a break. And when we return, we will have our final championship presentation ceremony of the day. You guys are not going to want to miss it. See you in just a couple of moments.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 Classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the NECC Rocket League Championships. And we have just finished up our last game of the night. University of Alabama Huntsville take down Lincoln Land Community College and take the win in 4-2-1 fashion to win the West Champions Divisions. Congratulations to them. And Jacob, this was an incredible season full of some incredible teams, but unfortunately, we have to end it at some point. This is the last team of the night that we get to congratulate on their win. And as much as I am excited to do that, it is a bittersweet moment for sure.
It really is, Bass, and great job by you guys again tonight. And in that one, appreciate it. And I thought UAH was terrific tonight. I think Lincoln Land will look back at some missed opportunities, as you guys touched on, but no discredit losing to a very good UAH team, obviously. And a great night. I'm surprised, quite frankly, that some of the games were as one-sided as they were. I thought we might see a little bit more competitive throughout the course of the evening, but maybe it just shows how good some of our programs really are, and a great night all around.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of great programs, we are going to welcome in University of Alabama Huntsville. Congratulations, you guys, on taking the win here tonight. How are you feeling now that you have taken home the championship?
Really good. We worked for a long time for it.
And you guys absolutely deserved it. Huge congratulations on being able to climb all the way to the tippity top of the league. You came into this one with the #1 seed and you came out of it with the championship. It's got to feel pretty good to know that all the eyes were on you and you could still live up to that expectation. We mentioned a lot of different things throughout the game about how you guys had played a really clean rotation or you were capitalizing upon mistakes. But in your guys' opinion, what was the key to victory in this final series of the night?
I think for us, it was really just composure. I feel like as a team, we've been playing together for about the past year, and there's been so many matches we've played where we've really had to think about how we're playing and what we're doing wrong. And so I think all that experience kind of led into the finals, and we were mentally prepared, and we recognized even though we're making mistakes, we know how to try to fix them. And so I think that helped us a lot.
Hey,
Thank you.
Josh or Tech, I just want to ask you guys, you played 3 overtime games in this series and, great effort from you finding a way, but just talk about this, back and forth throughout and how close it really was.
Well, they did really well with keeping pressure on us. On defense, we were struggling to get boost, and they were very aggressive. And so that really kind of set us back as we kind of had to play really careful on defense, and that's I think what caused a lot of the overtime. So we just focused on getting out of our half and going to offense where we knew we were playing well.
I believe you guys really did play well on offense. One of the biggest things that we hinted upon many times in the series was the fact that you guys had an overwhelmingly positive shooting percentage. Multiple games where you actually finished it, I believe, close to 100%. So really, when you got on offense, you guys made the most of those opportunities. But similarly, you had some last-second clutch saves that had us in the booth almost pulling our hair out. What was the vibe like? Was there a specific save that you guys just remember going, all right, that's it, we've got this one in the bag? Was there ever that moment, or was it just kind of, chaos throughout the pitch?
We were actually examining the one save that Aurora had on the goal line. And when it happened, we were crying laughing because there's just no way that it didn't go. But
Oh, I'd love to hear it. That was the same sort. I mean, we weren't necessarily laughing as much, but we were pretty much in the same sort of, oh my gosh, what just happened reaction here in the booth. And well, I will not take any more of your time, Jacob, unless you got a couple more questions. I believe that you have got something for these gentlemen.
I do indeed, guys, and congratulations on our first ever West Champions title. Get this trophy out to you. A great season. We're thrilled to have you in the NECC, and obviously excited for the future. Excited to run it back in the fall. But tonight we celebrate, and tonight we commend you on a terrific season and obviously a terrific performance in winning this series in our first ever Rocket League West Division Champions title.
Thank you, man.
Congratulations again, guys. It really is such a huge accomplishment, and I hope that you guys are as excited as we are. But before we let you go, because we know you guys have got some celebrating of your own you've got to do, is there anybody you would like to shout out that might have been watching the stream?
I think our president for Eastwards Club, Jacob, he's like always there for everything.
So thank you, Jacob. He's messaging me throughout the series too.
Pro player Jacob.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So Jacob of 72 PC, if I'm not mistaken. All right,
No.
all right. No, no.
No,
Which
no, no.
Jacob?
Our UAH esports like president for the club.
We always say that he's just a pro at Rocket League. We always joke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So my mistake on that one. A little
You're
bit
good.
of a confusion there, but still, shout out to Jacob nonetheless. Any other shout outs you guys want to give before we let you go and celebrate?
Shout out to Durham because I thought we were gonna play them this season and we couldn't. So I'm ready for that show match.
Ooh. As you guys can't really hear behind the scenes, but our producer is letting us know that, hey, there's a possibility at that type of match coming up in the future, but that is all speculation for now. And right now, we're going to deal with the facts of the matter, which you guys are the West Champions Division champions. That is a mouthful and a half, but no matter what you call them, we're going to call you guys the winners for tonight. Congratulations on your win. We're going to let you guys go and celebrate. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. You too.
Congrats, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Jacob, that comes down to it. That is the end of the night for you and I. Thank you so much for an incredible NECC season. If you guys, the audience, do not know, none of this is possible without the help of Jacob. So we want to give a massive, massive shout out to you for all the help that you have done. It's been an incredible NECC Rocket League season, and it really was just what a stellar way to finish it off. So many great games, so many intense series, and to see this one go into over 9 minutes of overtime, it's just the cherry on top.
Yeah, and Bass, I'll send it right back to you. The job you do with our casters and our talent is unbelievable. It means the world, and we wouldn't be where we are, obviously, without your support and your help. Obviously, our first year of Rocket League, it was great to hear those guys talk about Durham, winning, both championships in the fall and obviously the spring. And now, so many new faces that we've added to the conference. We're excited about our continued expansion and growth. And programs, like a UAH, like a Missouri Baptist we saw earlier tonight, just continue to grow and continue to get better. And we're just excited about the future.
Absolutely. We are excited about the future, and the future actually still includes some more NECC action. We are not done here at the NECC, and maybe the end of Rocket League. We have got plenty of other games waiting for you guys throughout the rest of the week, so keep your eyes peeled because there will be plenty of collegiate esports action, no matter when or what day it may be. If you want to catch up on any of this, everything here is going to be on our YouTube, our Twitch, as well as ESTV, where you can go and check out all of the action. But for now, unfortunately, that is the end of the night. Thank you, everybody who tuned in here tonight. Thank you to all of the teams that played. And thank you, everybody, throughout this entire season that made this possible. It really would not be doable without you guys supporting us every single time we get on stream. So a massive thank you from the deepest parts of my heart. And similarly to that, we also want to give a shout out to one more person behind the scenes, to Caleb Gloomy, our director of esports here, who has done so many huge things, as well as producing every single one of the streams that you guys see. So a huge shout out to him as well. But shout outs, that is the last thing that we can do here. Besides that, all I can say is thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your night, and we will see you with Rocket League action once again in the fall. But for right now, that is the end of it. Have a great rest of your night, and we will see you next time.